Hello everyone, I am Professor Beena Balal, and in today's video we are going to see how to implement DHCP using Cisco Packet Tracer. DHCP is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and this protocol is a layer 7 protocol which is the application layer of OSI model. Now what is the use of DHCP? DHCP is basically used so that I can allocate the IP addresses automatically to all the hosts or nodes or stations of my network. So DHCP forms a very important part in automatic allocation or configuration of IP addresses to all the hosts which are connected to my network. So let's go ahead and see how to implement DHCP using Cisco Packet Tracer. So let me set up a network for implementation of Cisco Packet Tracer DHCP. So here we are using a router which is 1941. Then we will use the end devices. You can take a laptop or a switch, laptop or a PC, whatever you feel like taking. The end devices are up to you. So I will take up these end devices. Okay. I will require a switch. So I will take up a switch which is 2950-24 in this case. Apart from this, I will also require the server. Okay. So I am taking a server which is, say I will take up a PT switch. PT server I will take up. Let me just okay. Then I will be using the automatic connections to connect the devices. So I am connecting it. Okay. So now if you observe, this is my network and it is having a server, it is having the end devices, a router and a switch. Okay. Now otherwise, when we did our previous experiments, I used to give manually the IP addresses to my devices. So I used to go to desktop, then IP configuration, and using the static mode I used to actually give the IP addresses. Now since this is an experiment using DHCP, we will be getting the IP addresses automatically, right? So if you see now, the entire below network is green in color and only the connection of the router with the switch is red. So we have to make this particular link on first and then we will go ahead and implement the DHCP. So before that, let me just name the network. Suppose this is network which is say A, and I give the IP address to the network say 198.166.1.0. Okay, suppose this is my network and uska default gateway, since there is a router, so I will have the concept of default gateway at this point. So 1 minute. Default gateway. Okay, so default gateway is 198 for this network .166.1.1. Okay, okay. So now I am not giving the IP addresses manually. I will be giving the IP addresses through CLI, which is command line interface. So I go over here. Okay, so I'll just maximize this window. So this is no. Okay, then I will use the commands to implement this experiment. Enable configure After that, my interface over here, if you just keep the cursor, it is gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Okay, you have to check that before giving the configuration to your gigabit Ethernet 0/0. So I will go back to my CLI. Okay, so now I will configure the interface. Interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0, IP address 198.166.1.1, which is the IP address of the default gateway, and our mask 255.250 default mask of class C, since this is a class C address, 255.255.255.0. Okay, then I'll use the command no shut, or you can even use no shutdown. So if you see, this particular network or this particular link is now turning on. First it was red, now it is becoming orange, and ultimately it will become green in color. Okay, so now over here this has changed the state to up. Now I will have to exit this. Wait a minute. I will have to exit this particular interface, so I am typing exit. After that I have to actually configure the DHCP, so I will use the command IP DHCP pool, then ABC dash pool. So this is the command I am using. Then I will have to give network. Here I am giving the address of the network 198.166.1.0. Okay, and along with its default mask. Again, this is a class C address, so 255.255.255.0. So 198.166.1.0 is the address of the network. Along with the default mask is also given. Then I use the command default 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 dash router. Here I will be giving the address of the default gateway 166.1.1, default dash router 198.166.1.1. okay, now I will have to give the address of the DNS server which I have connected. So DNS dash server, so 198.166.1.254 is the address which I am giving for the server. Okay, I will have to exit this configuration. Okay, exit the DNS for DHCP first, then exit the configuration. Okay, after this, now whatever commands which you have given, I will have to write it in the memory. So write memory. Now once I write it in the memory, the entire commands are being stored in the memory. Now let's see if the DHCP is implemented or not, or let's check whether my each and every device has got its individual IP addresses or not. Okay, so I will click on this PC. I will go to IP configuration. Static nahi hai, we have used DHCP. So let's see if it is requesting DHCP request successful. So 1.1 was gateway, uske baad mein the addresses are gone to each and every device. So here it is 1.2, default gateway is 1.1, DNS server is 198.166.1.254. So it is come automatically. Let's check for the second device. Configuration, desktop, IP configuration, DHCP. Let's check for this. See here, 1.3 is the address, IP address, which is automatically being taken by your second device. Here, let's check for the third device. So this is 1.4. It is automatically come. Default gateway and DNS server is also automatically come. Okay. Now let's see for the server what is the thing. So DHCP. If you just see, DNS server ka address is over here and it is automatically being taken. Now let's try to ping the devices from the router and let's see if it is successful or not. So ping, I will ping one device, ping 198.166.1. Say I am pinging 3. Okay. So it is 80% success. Let's ping again. Initially you may not get full success. 198.166.1.3. So now if you just observe over here, it is success is 100%. So from the router you can ping any device. So I can ping 198.166.1. Say 4 I am pinging. Okay, initially you may get 80%, then you get full 100%. So ping, I'll ping it again 198.166.1.4. So here the success rate is 100%. Alright. Similarly, I can ping any device from another device. So I'll use the command prompt. That also I can do. Ping 198.166.1. Say 3 I'm pinging. Okay. So if you just see, sent is 4, received is 4, lost is 0. So 0% loss. So it is 100% success. Okay. So this way you can use the protocol DHCP to get the IP addresses automatically for all the devices or the host which are connected in your network. I hope this particular video is clear to all of you. Thank you so much, students.